Welcome to In My Opinion 4, Yomawari, Midnight Shadows. You and Haru are two good friends, and after a beautiful fireworks show, they are split up thanks to some spirits. Haru figures you went home, but after no one answers the doorbell, Haru fears the worst. At the same time, you wakes up dazed and confused wondering where the heck she is. Now each ghost has to find one another and unite no matter what horrifying spirit is in their way. The story is pretty simple and straightforward, but it doesn't stop you from getting invested. Seeing what these girls are going through to find one another and reading the little dialogue they have shows how much they mean to each other, which makes you root for them. You want to see these best buds come together again after the hellish experience they had, and it tugs at your heartstrings a bit. These kids are not roaming around spraying assault rifles and such. No, in this survival horror, your weapons are running, hiding, and dodging. Even with the ability to run away, you have limited stamina, and when you're afraid, it drains faster. So it's best to keep your eye on that, as one touch from these ghouls equal death. And others just slow you down so you can get killed by the other ones. While these heartbeat sound effects do give you a good indication of how close these ghosts are, you still can't see them unless you shine your flashlight on them. But of course, this does have a chance of getting you noticed. However, there are some ghosts that can be shooed away with the flashlight, but most would just shrug it off and eat you. There are other tools that can help you dodge these things, like rocks to make noise to distract the ghosts, paper airplanes to again make them distracted. Man, ghosts sure are easily distracted. Or even a trash bag you can hide in just in case there's no bushes, fridges, or other objects around. By the way, all these tools got a use limit, so it's best to think before you use them. I personally stick to just trying to outrun and dodge them, as it works most of the time for me. Either way, you still get a tense and exhilarating feeling once you start to hear the bump bump of your heart and groans as the spirits getting closer and closer. As you're exploring the town, you'll come across little collectibles which shine when you flash your lights pointing to them. The game also lets you know when you're near something when you just look in a general direction by showing question marks and exclamation points over your head. This happens even when your flashlight is off and you can still pick up the item or interact with whatever is there. While some of these collectibles are just weird and pointless, there are some that help you figure out how to solve side events in town, such as the creepy broken cell phone, or some weird vending machine that transports you to another dimension. Though there are other side events that you gotta figure out yourself, but are never too confusing on what to do, such as helping a spirit rest. Solving these events nab you more stuff to add to your collection, which you can check by looking on the game's nicely organized list. These side events add more personality to town, making it more mysterious and freaking terrifying. There are also charms you can collect in the game. Equipping these charms adds certain abilities to your character, like holding more rocks or keeping your stamina from draining fast. You are given the option to choose which charms to take out before you leave your house. I also like the little touch of certain collectibles taking up space in your house. It's kind of like a trophy room. The town is pretty big itself and you can easily get lost in it, but luckily you have a handy dandy map. The map itself doesn't come complete, so you gotta explore to uncover it little by little. This is actually helpful as it gives you a good indication of which areas you haven't really looked into. Only downside is there are no maps for the few inside areas. With a map this big, you would think backtracking would be a pain in the ass, but with teleporting, it isn't. Ah yes, good old teleporting. While exploring the town, you'll run into little Jinzo statues. These act as your save points for the game. All you need is one coin for any time you want to save, and with coins spread all around town, you never find yourself in desperate need of them. These statues also act as your teleporters. Whenever you find a new statue, it turns to a new teleport spot. Also, you don't need to spend a coin to teleport every time, so it makes it less of a hassle. Like I mentioned, there are one-hit kills in this game. This may sound a bit frustrating, but it never feels cheap and never got me to the point of throwing my controller at the TV, mainly because you don't lose progress. The spot on the map you explore still counts as being explored, and if you grab an item and die before you reach a save point, that item is still counted as being collected. This, coupled with the fact that there's no real long load times between deaths and you just brought back to your last save point, makes the game a more pleasant experience instead of a pull your hair out one. The game has boss battles of sorts. While it's mainly the same gameplay of dodging, hiding, and moving stuff, it is a nice breakaway from the town exploration. They also stay within the tone with the rest of the game, so don't expect high octane music when the boss battle starts. The game looks beautiful. It has its own style that I just can't put my finger on, but is a treat to the eyes. You really get a sense of it from the 2D camera shots, though you wouldn't think I would use the word beautiful for a game that also gives off a depressing and somber atmosphere. Houses and streets are completely empty, and the soundtrack is mainly dead silent, with just some street sounds, clacking of your shoes, and the horrible moaning and shrieking of lost souls. These spirit designs are well done. Even the simplest looking one leaves you thinking, man, if I saw that, I would pee my pants. They also didn't really reuse any spirits from part 1, which was a plus since it kept things feeling fresh. Although you might visit somewhere that will bring up old memories, and I'll leave it at that. Our little leads, character models, and designs pop out as well. Even though you're on the streets most of the time, the game does have some variety, like the sewers, a haunted old building that's trying to kill you, and more. There's enough to see that you won't get visually bored. All of these factors combined make for some great atmosphere, though I do admit while I got caught off guard scared here and there, I wouldn't call it a super scary game, but more like an eerie one that any horror fan can appreciate. There's no voice acting to be had, and the game runs buttery smooth. I didn't run into much tech issues or glitches except for one which had to do with a side event. Basically, someone was supposed to show up but didn't, so I had to quit the game and go back for it to activate. It's kind of annoying, but it's not very common. I loved this game. While having a pretty simple story, you still find yourself invested in it. The game looks great along with our leads and the horrifying spirits. The atmosphere as well comes together perfectly. The game is a bit on the short side, ranging from 5 to 6 hours. There is replay value in gathering all the collectibles and doing the events, which the game lets you keep searching for after you completed it. You even have certain spots that won't open up until those credits roll. So besides the length and the really weird side event glitch, I feel the game is a must play for horror fans, and even if you're not into horror that much, maybe the story of our two little friends will grab your interest. So get your flashlights ready and step into the shadows of Yomawari. I hope you enjoy my thoughts on this game, and for gamer's sake, keep gaming.